OSP TV here at OSP EXPO 2007. I'm with Daniel Graff, the VP of Sales for Emtelle US. So tell me, Daniel, what does Emtelle manufacture?
Well, thank you, Janice. Emtelle is the largest manufacturer of something called air-blown fiber in the world. We make microducts that span from singles all the way up to 24 tubes per what we call a tube bundle. The process itself is the ability to leave it into the ground and then break it out using closures. So instead of doing a fiber splice, we actually do a tube splice.
Great. So how does air-blown fiber actually work once it's in place?
You know, it's probably the most popular question. What happens is we use a little blowhead. This little piece right here is a clamshell. It's got two wheels on either side, on the top and the bottom. You open up the clamshell, you feed the fiber through one side, the tube is on the other side. You close the clamshell, and the wheels are controlled by power, and they actually push the fiber into the tubes. Then air is actually pumped up into the tube just before the fiber gets into it, forcing air straight down the tube. And then what happens is the air acts as a dry lubricant, and actually kind of like a pull string, because as the fiber goes down the tube, the air actually starts to drag it. And the distances that you can get are approximately 2,500 to a mile in each run at speeds of approximately 100 feet a minute to 150 feet a minute, which means you can install almost 6,000 feet of fiber in an hour.
Wow. So where would this system typically be used?
Well, in the beginning it was actually used in just campuses. However, during the product line itself, we've started using mini cables. And so we can now go from 2 strands of fiber all the way up to a 96-strand mini cable, which means that we can not only do campuses inside buildings, but we can also do backhaul in backbones. So we can do municipality rings, we can do fiber to the home, we can do campus environments, and of course multi-dwelling units. Another important component of air-blown fiber as far as installation practices goes is something called slot cutting. I've got the president from Light Access, Michael Priest, who will tell you a little bit more about that particular process.
Thanks, Dan. Light Access is very proud to be a partner with Emtelle. They've been our manufacturer of our microduct solution for the past 3 years, and partnership's working out great. As Dan mentioned, the difference between our technology is it goes into a slot cut, so it's a very, very low impact solution. It's very quick to deploy, it's very cost effective, uses a lot of the same components as Dan mentioned as far as blowing fiber in. You have the ability to add fiber at any time, and again, it's a very cost effective and a quick way to blow. Quick shot of some of the different products that we have, the ability to go from anywhere from 2 to 288 strands.
Well, thanks. Mike, how do you actually install it? How does that actually work?
So how this is done is we're using just a basic saw, 65 horsepower concrete slab saw. We're putting a cut into the ground. The cut that you're looking at here on the screen is approximately ½ inch wide. We're then placing our microduct into that cut at the depth that the city has asked us to put, typically anywhere between 6 to 12 inches. We're then putting a sand composite or a fume grout or sift grout or some sort of tar on top of that to reinstate it. So when you're finished, it's basically just a little small seam in the cut here. So it's very, very unobtrusive.
Great, thanks, Mike.
Thank you, Dan.